Did you make a bad decision on the Lexus? Do you wish you would have got the Escalade? Welcome back, guys. I have a 2024 Cadillac Escalade and I have my wife's Lexus LX600. This is a premium, this is a premium luxury, so these pretty much compete with each other. Now my wife's inside the Cadillac Escalade, she's actually checking out some of the features. This is her first time actually checking out an Escalade. Now my wife is a Toyota fan. I want to see if she might have thought she made a mistake buying the Lexus over the Cadillac. Let's go ahead and start with the outside and then I'll introduce her into the video. Now the very first thing I notice is how much taller the Escalade looks compared to the LX. Now, as far as ground clearance goes, the Lexus might have it by a little bit because you guys can see right down below here, there's like a little trim piece down there that sits a little bit lower, and that's not really the case on the Lexus. But on the front end of the Escalade, you cannot deny how sleek this thing looks. I think this is probably one of the best looking SUVs on the market. When you consider the daytime running light on the side there that acts as your turn signal, this thing is menacing. Full LED headlights as well, and this grille is just done perfectly. I think Cadillac has the best front ends of any vehicle, and you cannot deny it. Now as far as the Lexus goes, this is more of like that, what is it called, more of the non-flashy SUV. When you buy a Lexus LX, you're not trying to impress anybody. You just know that you have one of the most luxurious and reliable vehicles on the market. Now, as far as the headlights go, you have a triple beam LED. It's gonna be the same case on this side. Full LED everything, including the fog lights. There is no fog lights, however, on the Escalade, but you do have some down below. You have your parking sensors hidden nicely. Same thing goes on the Escalade. I do like that the Escalade gives you one all the way off to the side, which the Lexus does not. But I would say 100% I do like the Escalade styling up front a lot better. Now forward facing cameras right there, and when you go back over to the Escalade, you guys can tell 22-inch wheel, and this is wrapped in a Bridgestone tire. And then check out the wheel well too. They do give you a fabric material. Independent front suspension. You do not have air suspension on this model. Now as far as the Lexus goes, these are actually a F Sport wheel, so I'll show you guys a picture of what you would get from the factory, okay? So when you guys look down here, they do not give you that fabric material, but same scenario, independent front suspension. You cannot get air suspension on the premium model. You have to go up to a luxury. But I do like the brake calipers. They do finish them in black and they put that Lexus logo. And then here's just a better look at the ones on the Escalade. Both SUVs come standard with the running boards. They're just fixed on the side there. And then here are the mirrors, blacked out. And you have a camera right there, turn signal. And you guys are gonna see you have that blind spot monitoring. Same thing on this side. Now this does have an appearance package, so these mirrors are blacked out. They would be color matched, but it does upgrade the trim around the windows to a black chrome, and it does black out the door handles as well. But you have that turn signal, and I would say that when I show you guys the interior, you'll be able to tell just how much bigger the Escalade is compared to the LX. Now, as far as the rear goes, check out the side view of that tail light there. Like, I love the way they designed the LX600. This is a really nice, subtle design. It's not in your face, but on the side of the Escalade, you guys can tell, look at how that tail lamp goes all the way up to the top there. And even on the windows, you guys can just tell they really did a great job designing this SUV. Now, I know some people find these taillights very controversial, but there's nothing else like it on the market. Well, you have the Honda CR-V, but let's not talk about that. Love what they've done with the tailpipes down below. They hide the hitch, and it's pretty clean out back too. I think when you think about them hiding the windshield wiper, it's just done well. Now, if you want to pop this glass open, you do have an option to do that. The button's right here. And if you don't want to open the full tailgate, you can just put things in this way. On the Lexus side, they give you these taillights that run side to side, And it has a really nice design to it too. Same scenario, they do hide that hitch. And I like how sporty they made the LX600 too. Like this little plastic trim piece down below, it's just done really well. You have more of that black chrome down there. And these are gonna be full LED taillights, just like the Escalade. Now you cannot pop this rear glass, which would have been nice for them to do, but they did not offer that function. Now on both sides, you should be able to kick down below. I don't have the key in my hand. All right, so I have both keys now. So here's the Lexus. So all you have to do is just kick below it. And let's try it for the Escalade. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be on the same side. Like, it's typically like on the right side. Let's try the middle. There it is. So all you do is kick below and it pops the lift gates on both sides. Now here's where the Lexus is just lacking. We'll start with the Escalade. One thing I absolutely love about luxury vehicles, I love to see carpet up here. You know why? When people are throwing stuff in the back, this all gets scratched up when it's plastic, right? They do it on both sides. Now most of this back here is speaker grill. That's gonna look nasty in time, but you know what? It's okay. I like that they did give you some of this carpet right here. And do you see how much cargo area you have behind the third row seat? That is what I love about the Escalade. They did make this a little bit larger. They stretched out the wheelbase slightly. And when you walk over to the Lexus, well, this is more for going off-road. So you do lose the cargo space because they don't want to stretch out the wheelbase. And it's because they want this to have really good performance off-road. So you're gonna lose a lot of cargo space behind the third row seat. And that's kind of why I prefer the Escalade, because if we do want to have more kids, well, you're not going to have that cargo area space there. Now I'm going to put this down really quickly. So you guys see how there's no carpet on the side here? That's the biggest issue I've always seen with some SUVs, is they give you all this plastic, and then like I said, in a couple years it's going to get all scratched up. It's not going to look nice. Now last thing I want to show you guys is this. You do have power seats in the third row on the Escalade too. You do have to hold it just like the Lexus. You can't just push the button and it does it automatically, so that's unfortunate. Oh, and I think that those second row seats might be too far back, so they won't go down anymore. But let's go ahead. I'm gonna have my wife show you guys the driver's seat for the Escalade first. Now one thing about the Escalade that you wouldn't know unless you're here is this door handle does not open, right? So there's a button inside of here. You do have the smart key system. I don't see that as for the rear doors, and it's not, because if you push right here, that locks it, right? On the Lexus, it's on the front and rear door, so that is a nice advantage there. So here's the wifey. She's inside the Escalade. Did you make a bad decision on the Lexus? Do you wish you would have got the Escalade?
This is nice.
Yes.
This is nice. It's a lot more spacious, I can tell you that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely bigger. You'll notice that if you had these side by side. Now, is your seat all comfortable for you?
Yeah.
So you guys can see here, you do have controls for the front and rear part of the seat. And your seat back obviously is going to be powered. And your lumbar support does go up and down, in and out. Power steering column, and that's what you're going to expect at 100 grand. Like, these things are going to come standard. Now what do you think about the door here? Like, how do you like how everything's laid out?
I miss this. The Lexus doesn't have this little number.
Yes.
Where I could put little gum wrappers and stuff.
Oh yeah, I don't like that. See, that's what I love about the Lexus. See, all the junk that they put in like these little pockets here are going in the Lexus. I love that you can't put trash. They give you a handle actually versus this little pocket here.
Yeah.
And I'll show that to you guys here in a second.
But I do like how roomy the door is. Like, I feel like you could fit more stuff in here. Now I will say it's kind of like the Lexus in the sense that like I can't get a huge bottle like the Wagoneer, but there is more places for storage here. They have these side pockets on both sides, again just for extra stuff.
Yes.
I like that there's storage even in the center console area next to the cup holders, and then really great storage here too.
Oh yes, that is huge.
Although I don't think I would trade the cool box.
Yeah.
Just because it gets really hot here, and so many times when we're out running errands and stuff, it would be nice to stick our bottles of water in here or the kids' snacks in there without it getting like hot or anything like that. So.
No, I get that. Now you can get a cool box. I'm not sure if it's available for the premium luxury, but let's go ahead and hop over to the Lexus really quickly. So the Lexus LX600, as Hannah said earlier, you guys see, they don't have those little pockets for trash. My kids, I'm willing to bet you there's some trash back here. Oh no, actually no. No, but they do have it in the door side, so there you go. But the seats are the exact same on both sides. You have a power steering column. You can instantly tell how much tighter this is compared to the Escalade. This feels more like a sports car in my opinion. Like, I'm shocked that Lexus designed the LX this way, because the 570 seemed a little bit bigger in the interior when I looked at one. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
It definitely seemed a little bit bigger, but I do like the overall design. Now, one thing I'm going to mention really quickly. I'm going to hop over on that side and I'm going to show you guys. So here's just a quick look on the interior side. But this does sit a little bit lower. But one thing I love about the Lexus LX600, I love the wood treatment in the interior. What would you say?
Yeah, I agree. I think, wait, so do all Escalades come with that brown,
yes,
like, glossed wood?
Yes.
You can't opt out of that.
Now the V might come with a different, I haven't seen the inside of a V yet, but from what I've seen, the sport models have that same wood color. I don't know why they did that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the color or even like the finish on it.
Yes.
I feel like it's mainly like women that drive that. I don't know.
Yeah.
If I'm off, but I feel like mainly women drive Escalades, and we have nails.
Yeah.
We have purses, keys. We got a lot of stuff, and I just could see myself scratching all of that up and it
True.
looking not so great.
True.
But I love this.
No, I agree. I love the wood treatment inside the door, even right here. It's just, it has like a matted look to it, and it just looks cleaner. Like, this is a black interior, right? If you were to get the lighter interior colors, they would still give you like a more matted color for the wood, so it doesn't have a high gloss on it. And we'll show that to you guys in a second. But you were talking about the cool box. You want to show that really quickly?
Yeah, so this too is so cool. You can open it from both ways. So if I'm driving, I can open it from this side. You can open it from that side.
And the kids can open it from the back too.
Yes, which is really cool.
Nice.
But I love having this. It gets really hot here in Utah, and so those summer months when we're out running errands and stuff, it's nice that we could just put our drinks and any of the kids' snacks in there, and it won't melt. Nothing will melt, or you won't be drinking like hot water bottles when you come back. So.
Yes, no. And one thing to mention too, these screens, you have a 12.3 7-inch, and then the gauge cluster does have a small screen. They still give you some of the analog gauges, because the people who drive these vehicles like to see those analog gauges, and that's why they put them in there. But one thing I will have to admit is this does feel tighter for sure. I instantly could tell for sure. But I like how they give you the black roof. This is the headliner here. Also the A pillar, B pillar, C pillar has this I guess you could call this suede maybe? It's not really a suede material.
Suede microfiber.
Yeah, suede microfiber, there you go. But yeah, it does look nice. And you're gonna see that on the Escalade side too, but check out your sunroof. This is another letdown for Lexus. For this to be $104,000, I thought they would have done a little bit more. Even if they gave the back like it's like glass roof or something like that, that would have been nice, especially for the black interiors. It would really lighten up the interior a lot better in here too. Now, one thing I will say is I do like the fact that they give you the heated and ventilated seats on the doors, because it really does clean up the center here. But as we were saying earlier, this gloss, it's really like bright, and on a black interior, like I don't think I like this color wood. Like, I don't know, like it just doesn't look that nice for a Cadillac Escalade. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys, it just doesn't do anything for it. Here's some of the storage. Now, we didn't show you guys the charger for the Lexus, but you just lay your phone flat. Whereas Cadillac did something a little bit nice. They allow you to be able to set your phone up and just drop it in there. Both SUVs are going to have wireless Apple CarPlay. You're going to have the USBs like this. You have a Type C, Type A right there. And I just think that the Escalade interior is nice, but it's not as sporty as the LX was. And that's hard to believe, because Lexus is never known for sportiness.
This is definitely more like luxurious feeling. Like, again, everything's wide, big. And I feel like in American cars, you just get more storage and things.
Yes, yep, right down here.
It's not as minimal.
Yes.
Another cool thing that I like is that you can control the third row seats from up here.
That's nice.
So I could put them up or down. So if someone's, say you're getting something loaded into your trunk, you can control it from up here.
Yes. And go ahead and start it up too. I want them to see these insane screens too. Like, so when you put it in gear, they give you like this screen that shows you the front end. It's really cool. It's the full screen of it. I want to say this is like 36 or 38 inches of screen. So I can't remember the screen size. It's just like 3 screens. So the first screen here is 16.9 inches diagonal infotainment, which is this one. You also have a 14.2 inch diagonal for the cluster. So that cluster is 14.2 inches, and you have a 7.2 inch control panel screen too. That is just insane. Like, these screens are huge. They're OLED as they call it. In the past, Cadillac has always kind of been futuristic, even though they always look like old people cars. They've always done really cool futuristic things with their interior design. And there's not a lot of buttons here. These are all metal buttons too down below. So this is for your climate control. Also, you have this little guy here to control the screen. So if you don't want fingerprints all over the screen, you could just use this dial here. You guys can see.
That's a nice feature.
That is a very nice feature. So you don't have to, put a lot of fingerprints on your screen.
What is this up here?
So that little guy there is Super Cruise. We do have like lane centering for the Lexus, but this is so much nicer. This will actually allow you to pass cars. It's hands-free, and it'll turn the signal on, get into the next lane, and pass a car. It's the coolest system, and it's probably one of the best ones on the market too. That's why I think when you look at the Escalades, this is definitely a better vehicle, I would say. But I think if you're planning on keeping the car for 10 plus years, I think the Lexus is going to hold up better. That's just from my experience. I used to sell Cadillac Escalades, and when I would get them in on trade 5, 7 years old, they just didn't really have the same quality as what I've seen in the Toyota Land Cruiser in the past and the Lexus LX 570s, 470s. We're in the second row right now. One thing I'm going to tell you guys right out of the gate is you can slide these seats forward and back. You cannot do that in the second row with the Lexus. But this only has heated seats in the second row. The Lexus we have, it is an option to have ventilated seats. The cool box was also an option too. Now down below you have 2 USBs, those are Type C's. And this is just single climate control actually, so this doesn't have 4-zone climate control either. Now, this does slide.
Does, right?
Lexus does.
Okay.
Yeah. But look at how much space you have in the second row, guys. Like, this is where the Cadillac wins as well. Like I told you guys earlier, the cargo space, the extra space you have in the second row is amazing. And I think that for the most part, this is laid out nicely too.
Yeah.
Now, when you look at the roof, you guys can see you have a twin panel sunroof. It's not a big one. It's just 2 glass. But it's definitely nice to have that extra light coming in the interior. It feels a little bit more like homey inside of here versus in the Lexus, it's a little bit darker. And where the Cadillac wins too is the third row is 3 across. You can't get that in the Lexus. Now, I will say there's a lot of hard plastics, and if someone blindfolded me and put me inside the Escalade, I would think I'm in the Tahoe back here. This looks just like the Tahoes and the GMC Yukons. A lot of hard plastics right there. They do give you a soft touch here, which is a nice convenience for your arm. And then you have those Type C USBs. But with this second row seat all the way back, it's definitely tight. But luckily you can actually slide this forward. Let's go ahead and check out the Lexus. Now, as far as the LX goes, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it now. This is tight, right? There's no denying how much smaller the LX is. I do like the way the seats fit in the second row. Like, I feel a little bit more comfortable in these seats, I would say.
Yeah.
And 4-zone climate control, you have heated and ventilated seats in second row. Again, those are optional on this SUV, so just keep that in mind. They do give you the seat back pockets right there. But as I said, it's just darker in the interior. And you cannot get a captain's chair option unless you go to an ultra luxury, which only gives you 4 seats in a full-size SUV, which is just impractical for us.
Yep.
And let's go ahead and hop in that third row seat so people can see that.
Okay.
And then we'll pretty much be done with the video. In order to get into the third row, you have to pull this lever. This is a 60/40 bench, luckily, so you can do it on one or the other sides. And then you just basically climb in the back. And as I said, you only have 2 seats in the rear. And then all you have to do is just pull this down.
Which I will say, these seats are a lot easier to maneuver than the Escalade. They were very heavy. Like, I couldn't see kids doing that, but I could see our kids being able to use some force and move these around.
Yeah, these are a little bit lighter compared to the Escalades for sure. But you do have a little bit more space in the third row, but you would have to recline these seats just a little bit to make people a little bit more comfortable. They give you a lot of different controls. You can actually recline the third row seat too, which is a nice function. You have USBs, and just like the Escalade, a lot of hard plastics. I'm actually a little surprised that Toyota didn't give this a little bit more, you know, soft touch in the rear. And these USBs are going to be Type-Cs. These are more popular today anyways, so that's why you're seeing them more. But the floor does sit higher. You see my legs? Like, I wouldn't want to sit back here for a long period of time, to be honest with you guys. But I think that if you're looking for something with older kids, you don't need car seats anymore. This is a better fit for people who have older kids. Now, as far as the powertrains go, starting with the Lexus, this is a twin-turbo V6. This is the only engine option for this model. 409 horsepower, 479 pound-feet of torque, 10-speed transmission. Now, the Cadillac Escalade is still using a naturally aspirated V8. This is going to be 6.2 liters versus the 3.4 liter V6. This is going to be good for 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. 10-speed transmission. You can also get a diesel with this SUV, which can get you close to 30 mpg on the highway. Lexus does, or I should say Toyota does have a diesel engine, but they do not allow that engine option to come to America, unfortunately. So really quickly, here are the numbers on the door. The gross vehicle weight rating is 7,230 pounds, and then here's the payload minus the 22 pounds here. And the Escalade gives you this trailering information. So they show the gross vehicle weight rating at 7,600 pounds and the payload is 1,626 pounds. So you're going to be able to tow more with the Escalade for sure. But that would pretty much end the video. My wife loved the Escalade. You can definitely tell how much larger the Escalade is over the Lexus LX600. If we had kids still in a car seat, I think that the Escalade would make way more sense versus the Lexus. But for our life stage now, I think that this is the perfect size for us, and it checks every box that we need. But this definitely does check more boxes, and I feel as though you have a lot more features and available powertrains over the Lexus, and I think that most people would find this a lot more easier to live with day to day. But unfortunately, probably not enough to pull you out of your car, right? See you guys later.